people of the internet and the world. HOI
Hola,
is
¿cómo
back.
estás, Español? Here we are, here in Spain.
Lovely to be joined by my good friend Helix today as the other co-commentator. Yeah, the other co-commentator is currently rolling out of depression watching Liverpool and Arsenal. So we are here for a very long day in Spain and sprint race, quali, and the main race. 33 laps.
Also, we head to OSQ. Oh no, I've crashed.
Oh,
There's
I'll
no
try
way
what
this
yours
happens to me. No. I've had a crash.
I think a lot of people are having crashes here.
A lot of people, so it's not just me then. Yeah, a lot of people crashing from what they're saying in Discord. Yeah, it might be a restart, maybe. Hold on, let me see if I can get back in the lobby. That is annoying.
Mate, my dad's calling me.
See if I can get in. Do. Looks like we're back in.
Right, so first man out then is. Let's see, let's get this. Alright, let's get these sorted out. There we are.
Okay, we are heading back in after my little crash there.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Oh, it's a one-shot quali. Oh.
Yeah, because it's sprint. They don't want to drag out with 18 minutes.
So people are already retiring. So that's Ossa, JR, and Gabby already retiring or getting DSQs in the session already. So far, we're on for a Jordan pole position here, but so Bits is currently taking the lead. This is the problem, trying to commentate one-shot quali.
Yep, anyway, AlphaTauri comes around the final corner, currently in P1. Doesn't look like Jordan can get that lead back.
It's Jordan, he does.
Yeah. So something must have happened with that AlphaTauri last second, and Mercedes is currently on pole for the sprint race.
Mercedes on pole for sprint race, and then the actual quali will come from the sprint race itself. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top of that one. But Jordan on the one shot gets the better of F1 skills, who goes and grabs himself a pole position by 2 tenths.
Yep. Apparently, from what Discord is saying, it's like a glitch with OSQ that causes like crashes. Little shout out to Omar there, who picks up P3.
Yeah, P3 for Omar. That's a very good lap from him himself, who could be well in a chance of a podium then today.
Yeah, very true. And Jono, who's taking the place as Mercedes teammate for Jordan, P14, the only man to be last and not disqualify. I mean, in terms of actually being last, it is actually just Billy Wiz. Alrighty. Lewis says echo. I don't know if there's much we can do much that.
Yeah, I don't know if there was much of an echo, to be honest, but oh well.
I think there was a small echo with TJ, but I don't think there isn't much you can do anyway.
Yeah.
It isn't, like, prominent. Anyway. To actually get into it, because a bit of a slow start because of crashes from multiple drivers, including me as commentator. As we can see, the pit crew doing their daily T-poses, doing their stretches. Right, 1 second, there we go. Okay, formation lap. Well, once it decides to load. There we go.
Yeah, so formation lap underway. Let's do a grid rundown for this sprint. So, starting first will be Jordan with a F1 SLK starting in behind in a P2 position. Then we've got Omar in P3 with Shadow locking out the second row with Omar and Sabitz and Chesney in P5 and 6. Chimp and Howe, the two Alpine Star in P8 and 7. Closest they've been all season, I'm pretty sure, with a Chimp in P2 in the championship. Definitely needs to climb up the grid to get his way back into it. Windex and Timu P9 and 10 here. With Joshy Boy, Lewis looking at P11 and 12. Jenga Boy, lowest start I think he's had all season, being in P13. Not a very good start for his Alfa Romeo campaign. With Jono P14 and Ozawa in 15th in the Aston Martin, with JR, Gabby and Billy Wiz finishing out the back of the grid.
Yep, so plenty of F2 drivers filling in for some F1 drivers who are obviously absent. And it's going to be interesting what they can achieve here today, or is it just going to be F1 driver domination once again? As we can see, Jeju, Atlanta or Jordan, however you want to say it, we'll just go with Jordan anyway. Currently on pole, swerving left and right, getting the tyres, the temps for the tyres, sorry.
Yeah, and I'm all
coming around the chicane. Obviously that chicane won't be there next year.
It'll be just a flat corner.
Yep.
Which I'm very much all for, because I hate that chicane.
Oh, everyone hates the chicane.
Yeah, but I was going to say, but who doesn't? Well, we get some tyre burnouts by the world champ.
Yeah, Red Bull hits the wall there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, the chicane just creates an inability for racing, so. Alrighty. The drivers line up onto the grid.
Yep. As they line up.
Get into their final formations.
And people failing to, line up a car. But as we're heading to 5 red lights. And away we go. Jordan starts off very well there. It's F1 who gets the very slow start, and Shadow gets the best start. Oh, 3-car wipeout! Omar and Sabitz and F1.
Aston Martin of Office hits the wall there. The Red Bulls had a spin.
Bloody
F1
hell.
SLK as well. Down to P2, already down to P17.
Mate, oh, whoa. F1 SLK couldn't ask for a worse start. Spins
15 positions down. Office was now almost trading there, sorry.
Omar could not have done anything now. That's Ozawa smashing into the back of that AlphaTauri, who lost the car, hit into the Red Bull, and the Red Bull just hit into Omar, who was just an innocent bystander in all that. That is unlucky. But we get a VSC, not a full course safety car, as we were only on, we didn't make it past one corner without an incident.
Yep,
there isn't a safety car.
It's a sprint race. So no safety car under those conditions. It will just be a longer VSC.
There normally is safety cars for sprints. I've had safety cars for sprints beforehand. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I'm just blind then, but it is just a VSC then.
Yeah, I'm very shocked. But as the VSC goes and Jordan goes again, Shadow gets a good, semi-decent restart.
Haas and the Ferrari fighting away there. Haas gets on the gravel there, scraping it.
Can we talk about that Shadow start? It was absolutely brilliant to make his way from P5 or 6.
Oh wait, that's Billy was having a spin there in the Red Bull into the gravel.
Let's go Sabitz.
Yep.
I think that could be it. No, we won't have a safety car now because we've already had a VSC, so we will not see one.
Yeah, and Ozaswaza and F1 SLK to come into the pit lane, obviously because of damage.
As Billy was spinning again. Shadow and Jordan flying away from this race here now.
Yep, so Jordan obviously now coming through that corner. Maybe a potential bit of pressure coming from the Haas in the next couple of laps. As that gap continues to decrease. Shadow having a really good race, and
Jordan very slow.
Really bad exit. And the Haas is going to take the lead. Wow.
Shadow gets into first place. That means he'll be starting first in the main race. But here comes Jordan back on the inside. Now he's going to go the long way, force Shadow to the long way. But Shadow wouldn't mind that, as he will keep the inside line to Jordan. And he'll hold on to this.
This is a great little fight between the Mercedes and the Haas, but it looks like Shadow just has a bit more pace compared to Jordan at the moment. Obviously getting all wriggly, which got the Haas the lead of the race. Slipstream plus ERS for the Mercedes. Shadow takes fastest lap with a 1:20.7, yellow flag sector 2, and that's the Red Bull again of Billy Wiz.
And here comes Chimp overtaking the Alfa Romeo here, and he gets the job done. Oh, hello, Kaya. Evening to you, mate. As Chimp now finds his way onto a podium starting position in the front row next to Shadow and Jordan.
Yeah, and Joshy Boy also following Chimp through to get past Chesney as well. So.
Yeah, Lewis overtaking Timu there, the Williams who was there last season, but he's now keeping there. But he's thinking about a dive on back on the inside of Lewis. But Lewis gets a better exit and keeps ahead of Jake Boy. Flies past his former teammate and gets up to P7, hunting down Chesney and Lewis here. What happened to the two DNFs? Well, at the start of the race, mate, Omar was just an innocent bystander to Subit losing the car to, well, I think, no, it was F1 SLK, losing the car, hitting into the Red Bull, and the Red Bull then hitting into Omar, which meant the Omar, well, him retiring. That's going to release a VSC. And I think...
Oh, I think that's... Yeah, it's the Red Bull retiring. Yeah, I saw him going slow on the straight, but I didn't know if it was just because of a spin or something. Yeah. But yeah, VSC once again coming out.
Shadow could ask for a better timing for a VSC. And that's also Ven now retiring as well as. Struggled there. But yeah, like I said, Shadow couldn't ask for a better time in VSC there, as DRS was activated on that lap. And... Jordan would have had him on the pace as well, and then this allows Chimp to catch up a bit more as well. Yeah, I think the Red Bull did the DNF delivery there, because he was very slow there.
But yeah, I mean, the Haas just did it perfectly. 3 positions gained, had a great getaway, had just more pace compared to Jordan in the Mercedes, and it's just been very clean for him ever since. The VSC is going to get them nice and close again, but for how long that's going to be, we'll have to see.
Exactly. I mean, now Shadow can back the Jordan into Chimp here, and hope Chimp can do some attacking on the world champ.
Trying to just get away from the Mercedes more than anything, and Chimp having a small gap between the Mercedes in P2 and P3. Yeah.
When the question is, when will the VSC be released?
That's a safety car.
Is it a safety car?
You see the yellow dot?
Oh, it is a safety car.
Yeah, it is a safety car.
So we will see a safety car coming in here. This will definitely help F1 indeed, as he is far back in the grid order. I think we had a Timu just not too long ago spinning, when I say medium. So Shadow couldn't ask for a better time. Safety car, and if you are tuning in, just welcome, and we are heading into lap 5 of today's sprint races. We've already had 4 DNFs already in today's sprints in España, so.
And Chesney going left and right, trying to keep those tyres nice and hot. Made 1 position gain since the start of the race. Jono and Howe almost trading positions there. Timo into the pits. Obviously thinking about a potential strategy change on a sprint race, which normally doesn't happen because normally there's no pit stops in sprint races.
Yeah, you aren't. Well, normally people have seen a few pit stops because of these incidents here between drivers.
If
so
F1 SLK can get close enough, it's a potential free overtake, and yes, he will just get away with it.
Yeah, but Timo now on the fresh set medium tyres, so he will have an old set of mediums heading into the main race, which is never best thing to happen, especially if you start on the mediums.
Especially on that one where new tyres are absolutely imperative.
Yeah, I mean they are very, very, very wear down in today's race here because the track asks so much for the turns. The tyre will definitely die out quicker than usual.
I'm sure in Shadow's head at the moment, what's the game plan happening?
Yeah, definitely.
Because obviously Jordan, a world champion here in Formula 1, will want the jump on the Haas, will want to get the overtake done and start on pole for the race as well.
Definitely, if he wants to start on that outside line, which is very important here in Spain, or if you're starting on the outside. Because you don't want that inside line and then getting rear-ended too. You want to start on the outside and you get a nice, good bend, good exit
great
into
grip
turn,
on the tyres as
turn
well.
1 2.
So left and right for most drivers, trying to keep the warmth in those tyres.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely be seeing a couple of more, one more lap of this safety car, this green Aston Martin, before we get underway. With 5 laps to go. We'll be 4 once we reach lap 7. So we've had 1 VSC so far and 1 full course safety car.
And the Alpine of Howe just starting to catch up to the rest of the drivers. So now it's all equal pegging for everyone. Most likely safety car in this lap, so as you can see a lot of drivers swerving left and right trying to get some temperature into those tyres.
Right, so I've got a video of the incident here from lap 1. So as you see, the Red Bull of Sabitz gets a decent start, and F1SLK is just very slow here. But yeah, the Red Bull, imagine George Russell in Silverstone.
Yep.
It's exactly
I have received
like that.
a video from Omar about said incident.
Yeah, Omar's was in as a bystander, but
so
Sabitz
Omar
decided to go through the middle. Oof.
Yep, so it goes 3 wide down the straight between it seems to be the AlphaTauri, the Haas, and it also seems to be a Red Bull. They get way too close to each other, the McLaren gets taken out, the Red Bull of Billy Whiz would follow, and it just
unfortunate events
apart.
there. Well, safety car is in this 3 into 1, just doesn't work exactly. Well, safety car is in this lap, and Shadow will get us underway. That's a perfect start by Shadow. Yep. Falls away from Jordan. Couldn't ask for a better start than he is. 6/10 away from him now off the safety car
yellow
restart.
Flag in the Alpine. There's How FR getting all out of place. Unfortunate for P14, who finished P2 in the Formula 2 race on Friday.
Oh, and that's Jenga Boy losing the positions there. He has took too much curb through turn 2 and has managed to spin the car, and Chesney hasn't had the best of restarts as he's dropping down like a fly. P8 here from P5. I don't know what's happened from him here, but it's definitely not good as Joshy Boy's made his way up to P4 from P11 of the grid. That is superb. And Chimp as well as into the P3. Lewis into P5 now. JR from bottom of the grid to P6. Could ask for a great restart from that, from those guys from the bottom half.
Yeah, I mean, very true. Obviously, Chimp able to keep P3 here.
That's
not able to go forward, not able to go back, and we can also see quite a fight in the midfield between Chesney and F1SLK. Chesney has to back out of it as F1SLK keeps P8 for now.
Yeah, and there goes Timu down the inside of the Alfa Romeo. He gets that move done. So he's going to be wanting to hunt down F1SLK, which will definitely do him. That's the fastest lap for Shadow then, who is absolutely flying away from Jordan here with 3 laps to go. He's definitely done the job on this safety car restart. Has done it well. As Jussie Boy is hunting for that to be ahead in that second row of Chimp. I
just want to go to the midfield real quickly, because where we can see the McLaren and Haas getting very close here between Lewis and JR, and it seems a potential move in the next couple of corners, and that's the Alpine of Chimp. That's the Alpine of Chimp. He's had a spin with the Haas.
Lewis
and
managed to get away with that.
As well. Oh, absolute chaos there.
That is chaos. He's been collected by Chimp, Joshy Boy. Then, oh man, nothing you can really do about that. Chimp, Joshy Boy, and JR, who was having a stellar of a race there, just gets absolutely destroyed as he is bystander again in these incidents. And Lewis gets away with it, and Jono to get himself into a second row start in Spain here.
Yep. And
As
it's
Jordan's
looking
managed.
unlucky for JR as well with no front wing on the car at the moment.
Absolutely. Oh, as Shadow
Obviously,
loses the rear end a bit, that will allow Jordan to get right up on his inside. We're heading into the last 2 laps now. One of these two are going to head out on for pole positions. DRS is now enabled. Shadow does have the ERS advantage on Jordan, though, so he have to be using it well. Migrating host, I don't know if Jenga Boy has disconnected here.
So some type of internet issue there. Another yellow flag. I think it's just some type of loss in rear.
Yeah, so we have on lap 9 now. We have the host disconnecting. We'll hopefully get him back soon
because of the lack of front wing on that car. Shadow still leads 5.1 seconds. Oh wait, now I know what's happened. Jordan down to P5.
He's P2 for me, mate.
Wait, P5 for me? Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a desync. When the host leaves, it's a desync. We're gonna have to restart the lobby.
Oh. Of course. Are we about to see the second red flag of the season? We had a red flag in Saudi Arabia. We'll continue to commentate as we are on lap 9:11. Absolutely no joke being able to be made there. Jono currently in P3, gaining on the AlphaTauri of F1. Not a great exit compared to the AlphaTauri though, who's going to probably be able to keep position, but the Mercedes will get DRS. So obviously down the main straight here, or down the pit straight, however you want to say it. Into the first corner, just not able to get close enough. And the AlphaTauri just able to stay ahead into the first corner. Jordan obviously down to P5, but for you P2. So obviously some major desync happening there. And Chesney in P7 getting closer to the AlphaTauri of Windex bottle cap. No move is made.
To tell if there's a desync or not, you can look with the people who are in AI. Those are the people who have desynced.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. It's quite a lot of drivers who are currently in desync. It might have to be a restart in lobby, which is unfortunate because it just ruins commentary, but...
Absolutely, we will have a restart. I think we will be having a restart in lobby.
Yeah, it's very interesting because right now the top 3 for me is Shadow, F1 and Jono.
The top 2 for me is Jordan and Shadow still has an F1 in P3 and Jono P4.
I'm seeing a completely different fight compared to you. We're going to see Jono potentially make a move on F1 in the next lap.
Yeah, there we go. It's a red flag. The recession has been red flagged due to desync.
Red flag.
So,
for a bit of context, on Friday, once again, Josh had some internet issues. We had desync, lots of incidents. We had a red flag at Saudi Arabia. We had stopped all, sorry, what am I trying to say? Any racing or anything that happened, which caused a 1 hour and a half wait before we got going again. And became a 25% race, and it was all a mess. And now we have a red flag here in Spain, just as we reach the end of the sprint race. Apologies for my lack of English. It seems my 2 commentary sessions have lowered my dictionary standards. Unlucky there. So red flag running for the 2nd time this season. Very messy. Unfortunately, this can happen through an online session, and it is just a part of the thing. Maybe I won't go on such a rant about EA, but they do need to fix their servers.
Absolutely. I'll be back in 1 minute, mate. 1 minute.
Yep. So, now you've got me to speak to, chat. How are we as we have this red flag again? I've already had to deal with this situation in Formula 2, so this is nothing new to me. But hopefully we can get a new session up and running as soon as possible. And here we go. Okay, so the sprint will be abandoned and the qualifying positions will see the grid order for the main race is the message that has been sent through. So what is being said is that the sprint results will not count and the qualifying will be the main grid for the race.
Well, that's a quality grid, so the effort from Shadow there means meaningless. I feel bad for him there.
And I'm sure Omer is going to be very pleased with that, who goes back up to P3.
It's just unfortunate, that is. I mean, Shadow best start there than Omar and F1's Escape, who were taken out. You know, did they get a second chance at this? And I feel like that's a bit, I don't know. I feel that's a bit unfair on Shadow's part, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard one to deal with on F2 on Friday. Trying to figure out what's the best way to go about things. And we just decided whatever the final look was before the red flag was brought out would be the grid. Silence falls on a racing track, and we all know what that means.
Yeah. Whew.
Except it isn't what you think, it's a red flag. No one died. So just waiting for some type of invitation for a new lobby. And then we'll be back racing here in House of Racing. It's unfortunate that a red flag has happened in one weekend. Or two red flags in one weekend.
Yeah, just Australia all over.
Definitely need to fix any type of issues that have been caused by internet, and EA overall, just fix your servers, please. So how are we, Ryan? As we wait for this lobby to be made, and I've just been invited.
We've been asked how are the commentators' days been going. Well, Goya, it's been going great, thank you. I've always spent time with my granddad, so it's good. And gotta say for the questions for you, Helix, from him. How's your day been?
Not too bad. It's tired all the time, but not too bad. Not too shabby.
It's great.
I mean, the real question is, how is Goya's day going?
Yeah, how has your day been going, Goya Ninja?
And Justice trailer all over again. It's more like Saudi Arabia with the red flag, but I definitely agree that Australia bring as much chaos. Since the quali starts over, I'm a BP9. Unfortunate for Goya.
Yeah. Hold on.
So it's just gonna skip quali, it's gonna skip any sprint that we had. It's gonna have the quali results as the grid start. And now we have to just wait for drivers to arrive and come into the lobby. And then we get going once again, hopefully for the final time. I have received a friend request by a driver, lovely. Oh, pardon me. But hopefully all of our days are going well, Twitch and chat and everyone.
I will return in 1 minute.
Yep, do your thing. So Ryan has departed for a minute. Now let's scheme how we can nuke the entire country of America. I'm kidding. Not really. Not. I mean, kind. Less detail is needed. Anyway, hopefully we are all doing very well. Hopefully we can get this new lobby up and running as soon as possible, and this red flag can end in the next maybe 5 minutes max, and then we can all go back to normal racing, back to normal commentary, and we can have hopefully a clean Spanish Grand Prix here in Barcelona. It's Friday then, Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then. Not much to do while we wait, so I just thought I'd do a classic Lando Norris there. I guess we can go through some drivers and potential predictions for the race itself. Jenga Boy obviously had a disappointing qualifying, and in the sprint race it wasn't fantastic. He made some positions up throughout the sprint, but honestly might not be a great result. If I'm not wrong, he's starting what, P13? If I'm not wrong, I'll have a quick look at the grid if I can. Don't know if I can actually, but if I'm not wrong, he's starting at the lower midfield there, Jenga Boy. Let's go to Omar, who's going to start P3 on the grid, because sprint race just won't count. Who else is now close? I think F1 SLK is going to start P2, so I'm guessing that is a saviour for the Alpha Tauri. Joshy Boy will be sent back a couple of places, or up some. I don't completely remember his final result in the sprint race. Shadow will go down a couple of positions. Obviously had an incredible sprint race, made up positions. Goya says, I think 11th. So, pretty accurate if we're not wrong.
I've returned after seeing.
And Ryan has returned.
It's not underway just yet, but wait for it.
Yes, me and chat were plotting how to nuke America.
Jesus. Speaking about war crimes on Twitch, are we?
Yes. Very much so. Trying to keep everyone entertained while we wait for the drivers to fill into the lobby. Now, but we also talked about who could potentially win some predictions where drivers are starting because sprint race just won't count because of that red flag. Oh man. Why was it red flag, says Shadow? It mainly came down to desync after Jenga Boy left.
Yeah, it was desync after Shingo Boy got disconnected, so having to have
Lobby
to do
glitched, yeah.
a lobby glitch. Yeah, that's it's a real pain in the arse, but hey, nothing we can do about it. It's down to EA and
Yep, that is how it is. Probably waiting, what, maybe 3-4 more drivers? Jono's gotten into spectator mode. But yeah, hopefully everyone's having a great day. As we wait for this red flag to come to an end, hopefully. Just need drivers to fill into the lobby. Liverpool's now got a goal, so it's 1-2.
yeah, it's been 2-1 for a while. Salah missed the penalty.
Yeah, I'm just tuning in every now and then. So obviously Salah scoring that goal for Liverpool. Tell you what though, Liverpool is not doing well on yellow cards.
Yeah, not a very disciplined team, Liverpool. So
Yes, I think they watched Ted Lasso, the newest episode.
smash into everybody.
Yep. Watch a clip of a piece of paper being ripped in half, and now they want to rip everyone apart. I don't think there's any belief in Liverpool.
I don't think so.
We have fun. We have fun here in the commentary box.
We do. We do.
Oh man. And just don't mind the plots for nuclear warfare in America. Who do you support in the Premier League, Mr. Ryan?
I support Wolverhampton Wanderers, mate. We are a very, very mid-table team in the Premier League, and we couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo because we haven't had a striker who scored in over a year. So,
Fair enough.
but we're getting on with it. It's all right for now.
It'd be shocking to know that I'm actually a fan of Arsenal. So, very happy days at the moment. Seems we're going in with 14 drivers, so I'm going to be a bit more of a disadvantage this time round. I think 4 less drivers. Jono saying that I used to think you were what? So this is not in Twitch chat. Ha! Jono doesn't like me because I support Arsenal. Not a favorited team. I have figured. Oh, it's even worse because Jono supports Liverpool. Alrighty, enough about football. Back to the racing at hand. And Goya apparently... Okay, nice.
Alright, we'll let the drivers put back on their setup and do their race strategies, little defuel their car, because that's what they like to do nowadays.
Yep, so the red flag has now come to an end, the car's back out onto the grid. The pit crew doing their T-poses as usual.
Well, we're doing their T-poses absolutely brilliant. The only team who's refusing to do their T-poses is Ferrari. Don't know why they're standing now with their decision not to do a T-pose. But
no, they're too busy trying to plan the Ferrari master plan.
They are, as we... are we going to get a formation lap? I think we are, yeah, we will get a formation lap.
So, after a red flag and a bunch of incidences...
Absolutely, we're back to quali positions.
For 33 laps this time round, not 11.
Quali positions here then for people.
This is the real deal. No more quali grid positions. This is the results that will affect the championship.
Yep. As
Jordan on pole, F1 in P2. Obviously, sprint results will not affect the grid, and it goes back to quali. So a lot of drivers, I'm sure, will be happy and upset with where they start.
Absolutely, because Shadow was having a blinder of a sprint race, so then just gets that taken away from him. So he's gonna have to ask for hope for another brilliant start here on Jordan, on Omar, F1 SLK, and Jordan, if he wants to be leading of this race event. But we now know soon enough from that sprint race, we do know he has the pace, and the only driver in the top 9 will be F1 SLK starting the hard. Then 10th and below would be hard galore, apart from JR and Lewis, who'd opt to choose the medium tyres.
Which is obviously majority of drivers just on medium compounds.
Yeah.
Obviously sticking to a very similar strategy, but that could very much change.
Yeah, it looks like
because of safety cars.
Predicted pit stop strategy then just come up, and we'll have a one stop to medium to hards if you want the mediums, hards to mediums, obviously.
14 and 19.
Yeah. So obviously the hard tyres can go up to lap 20. I'm pretty sure they do. Yep. So we'll see a long stint here from SLK, but he needs a good start though first to get that very long stint on the way.
The remaining drivers just coming around the final corner now to finish off the grid. Lewis is going to be the last man to line up on the grid.
You know what I miss out of F1? You know what I miss out of these F1 games? Is that the quali tyre choices is where you had to go in the soft tyre if you made it through Q2.
Yep, of course. I actually did like that more.
Because it gives more something for strategy wise as well.
Yep,
than just
but they wanted to move more entertainment.
Absolutely. Well, as they now have all lined up, and we're going to get ready to go.
What also might be entertaining.
So it's going to be 5 red lights, and away we go. As Jordan, can he get a better start than he did last time? And he does. Omar gets a great start. There's Shadow once again.
Shadow P2 now.
Once again, Shadow gets the best start out the lot as he makes his way up to P2. Omar to P3. F1 gets done in by Subits again. That's the second time this race weekend these two have come together from a race start. But this time there's no DNF. There's Jenga Boy and JR coming together as well. So JR and Jenga Boy can't do much about it. Again, Omar survives this time as he's now going to be hunting down Shadow for that P2 spot.
Yeah, and Jono fighting away with the ghost of Timu and the Williams. It seems both of them are actually ghosted, so an AI battle happening there. Let's go to the midfield where we can see Aston Martin, Howe and Lewis fighting away here. No, probably not the Aston Martin anymore, now fighting away with Timu and that. Continuing to move up. Well, you can see Omar in P3 was P2 for a second, but Shadow getting that perfect start up into P2.
Yeah. Again, Shadow, great start from him. Couldn't ask for a better start from himself. Yeah. So he's up to into the podium positions now, as Omar is still P3. It is looking like a McLaren versus Alpine fight here, as they are both separated by one position each, with Howe and Lewis in 6th and 5th, and Chimp and Omar fighting for that podium position in 4th and 3rd. But Omar looks like he's going to be the quickest out of the two.
It's like nothing changes.
Yeah, the timing board's messed up here. They're like 1 minute behind, but oh well. So Jordan this time managed to escape.
I just want to go back to F1 SLK for a second, because he started P2, he's down to P11 because of another bit of contact, with the Red Bull of Soho Bits, and it's just not gone the way that the AlphaTauri would have wanted. And he's now out of the points for now, at least. Yeah, he's probably going to get past the ghost of Jono, and yes, he has. So 1 point currently on the board with his teammate Windex Bottle Cap just right now ahead.
So Jordan now able to actually fly away from Shadow this time, not lose out by this time yet, as we had a yellow flags.
Detected in 2 and 3, but it doesn't seem to actually show anything.
That looks like SLK. No, it's not SLK.
Oh yeah,
it is SLK. Looks like he must have had a spin or something, as Jenga Boy gets past now. As DRS has now been enabled, so Shadow needs to hold on in a good DRS gap from it, because the DRS around Spain is very powerful if you've got the ERS advantage, as well as, which Jordan does have over Shadow, who's used a lot here to try and fly away from Omar, I think.
Shadow's continuing to use it. No, I mean, but it's all about that DRS though, the main thing that gets majority of overtakes in an F1 Grand Prix. If he can stay inside that 1 second margin, then it's going to be very good for the Haas driver. Both decent exits through those corner, and now it's full throttle for the Haas. DRS now active for the first time here in the Spanish Grand Prix.
Well,
obviously no move will be able to be done. And Haas just trying to stick as close to that curb and as close to the apex as possible, trying to gain on that Mercedes of Jordan. I'm sure Jordan will be definitely thinking how he can strategically use that ERS to his advantage.
Yeah, it's a good thing about saving your ERS around here, because you got that long straight, which does your ERS in very, very much. That's what I said, you need the ERS and DRS advantage to get a very good, powerful slip down the straight.
Shadow's going to gain, but just not enough, and into the first corner, Jordan will stay ahead, but the gap has been lowered because of DRS.
Let's see, 5 tenths separating the two drivers now up to 6 tenths.
I actually want to go to the midfield for a second, because Swaz is fighting very hard with JR here, and a potential collision could have happened there, and the Williams of Timo also starting to gain because of how hard they're fighting with each other.
We do like to see a very, very hard full battle here, full positions, and I'm all for it. The hard tyre probably going to come into play more alive. We've reached around the latter laps, around lap 10, 12.
Yeah, I think it's going to really start activating.
There goes Lewis.
Lap 8, yellow flag.
As Lewis spins around, he's going to have to make his way through this grid to get himself back into this race, because he's now dropped to that 1 point gap, and Alpine will very much take that, as they're now in very good point gap positions, and I think that will lead them to take lead of the Constructor Championship now, I think, because there'll be no Ferrari to take the points.
Yep. Williams getting very close to hitting the rear of the Aston Martin of Swazza there, but just not close enough.
Yeah, I think that's Alpine. Yeah, I think Alpine do take lead of the constructors now, as these two drivers are driving close together. P4 and P5 will see him into a very good points position finish. as Shadow's still trying to get to Jordan, but is not that close enough just yet to do anything.
Timu's going to get a great DRS here, plus ERS, or at least a bit of use of ERS, into the first corner. The Aston Martin almost swerving, but nothing can be done at the moment. Is the Williams potentially looking for more grip with the outside line, where he's had to lift to stay in track limits, and it doesn't seem anything can be done between the Williams and Aston at this current point. JR obviously now taking the advantage just to get ahead of the both drivers, and that's the Red Bull Suburbits again.
Yeah, it looks like he's not having a very
good.
good...
He's losing multiple positions down to P11. He's going to be able to keep P11 for now, because F1 SLK couldn't make the move on the Apex, obviously.
Yeah, he hasn't had the best of...
up at the back.
Well, Spain has definitely enlightened us into many good starts, and it's given us a good start here. Shadow is now falling behind Jordan, and this will be a good opportunity for Jordan to fly away. I think that yellow flag was given to Howe. I think he had a little bit of a rear end snap as he's taking these 2
Omar's
sectors
going to get a
carefully.
really good slipstream here, plus
here
ERS.
comes
You know,
Omar
Omar's going to
in the
make the
McLaren.
move. Omar, they're going to hit, they're going to bump wheels into the first corner. Here's the McLaren going to make the move down the inside.
Oh, Shadow sets up a very aggressive defensive manoeuvre there as he is on the long way round.
It's going to continue
Omar,
the way all the way through, wheel to wheel still.
The inside, and he's going to probably get the better exit done, and he is make his way up to P2, but Shadow still defending wheel to wheel. This is what we like to see. Very good hard racing, and Omar is now up into P2. That's a very good move from Omar, and he's definitely going to be happy with that, and the McLaren team are going to be delighted with that, because they haven't had the best start of the season. When they're now on their way back into those podium fights, and P2 is the position solidified. I think Shadow not going to be too happy with that. Did push Omar a bit wide there on the straight. Like I said earlier on, I think Shadow, from that the sprint race he had earlier, he definitely needed to be P1.
I think it's just simply lovely from the McLaren.
It is, but he now has to catch up that 2-second gap into Jordan, and he needs to pressure Jordan to a mistake. But Jordan, the world champ, does what the world champ wants, holding on to that P1 and flying 2 seconds ahead now. As we reach to lap 7.
Essentially Jordan's first win, because he hasn't won the first 2 rounds, and he's at a disadvantage compared to the current championship leader.
Yeah. Well, now Seb's no longer racing, so this could be an opportunity for Jordan to set up a good title defence. Along as Chimp, does he get some race wins underneath his belt? Which I think is, with mistakes happening, I think it's possible if Chimp could just keep it nice and composed.
Oh, so it's once again, oh no, not spinning, coming into the pit lane, my apologies. That sees Jenga Boy up into P11. And Jenga Boy slowly catching F1 here.
Josh has done well to try and crawl his way back into this race and try and get some of points into this. So I've just had the ice cream man just drive past my house.
Yes, I'm hearing it.
And JR, I've heard people are very interested in hearing that ice cream man. But here comes JR trying to hunt down the Alpine for that P5 position. And this will be Howe's first points, I think.
I'll tell you what though, if that Haas locked up, it could have been a potential contact, but nothing happened though. The Haas just so much closer to the Alpine through these corners, and JR obviously showing a bit of pace behind him into the chicane, keeps it clean, doesn't go over too far on those bumps. Now it's full throttle for the Haas driver. DRS will be active, will and move be able to be done here on the pit straight. As you can see, the red blinking light from the Alpine, so no more ERS for him. Down the inside goes the Haas. He's going to go wide.
He's got the move done though. Shadow. Well, JR is up to P5. Very good points there for Haas, and well-rounded needed points for Haas. Alpine losing out on some very good, more vital points for their championship battle here. But Omar slowly, but yeah, he is catching up to Jordan. 1.2 seconds, he's gained 8 tenths within a lap. That's very good from Omar.
McLaren, that's Lewis down to P12, P13.
That's not what McLaren needed right now. From what driver is trying to fight for a potential first race win of the season to, you know, spinning in BP 13. effectively not good. That's the first penalty picked up by a driver, 3 seconds from Howe, and I've got to say, how has he done that? Cheeky little thing there.
Little pun there, yep.
As a Josh still not finding able to get his way up to SLK. He's in a DRS gap, but his gap's too far back to do anything really.
I'll tell you what, 8 laps have passed. We've had puns, ice cream drivers, and plots for nuclear attacks in America. Everything's been happening here in Spain.
Absolutely. There's JR going with the fastest lap of the race. If he can catch up to Chimp, it will be a very good 3-4 positions there from Haas. I mean, Shadow hasn't looked like the best here since that sprint race. He's had a good start, but it hasn't really looked like he could attack Jordan. Then he's lose the position to Omar, who's just flown away and catched up to Jordan here. And he's now going to have to worry about him here.
Is actually doing a really good job here, and Omar could actually potentially take a win here. He's obviously had a really good setup. He's had the pace to catch up to Jordan potentially in a lap or two, and you know what, the McLaren could pick up some really important points for the constructors and also for the drivers. Shadow has just not been able to gain any more time at the moment. I mean, through some corners he's able to gain a couple hundredths, but definitely not enough for any moves in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems, from where I'm seeing from the telemetry, Jordan's really struggling on the corners, so maybe just not enough downforce on that Mercedes compared to other drivers.
DRS now, as he's going to have to save ERS on this lap, so he can go for a full actual attack on Jordan later, as he has got the ERS advantage by some margin, as he will save these laps now. 6 tenths separating these two. Omar needs no mistakes happening for him. He needs to keep that cool and composed, as he has done so far, to potentially get his first race within the season. One world champ versus, you know, someone who hasn't really fought for many podiums or wins, but
I mean,
he has a chance to prove himself today here.
I mean, it would not only be his first win of the season, it would be his first win in House of Racing.
Yeah, first win
so
of his
it's going to
career.
be very monumental for the McLaren driver if he can get it done. 5/10 gap at the moment. Obviously, commentator's curse could come into effect, though, and everything could go wrong after that.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're heading close to the pit stop window now, with only 5 laps or 4 laps remaining onto that one. Depends how long you want to hold on to these medium tyres, because they will be on about 40 to 50% heading around here now. About there.
Picking up a 3-second penalty there.
It's not his day with the penalty points here, or the penalties given. So Jordan needing good exits around these chicane. If he's got a better one than Omar, I don't think he did. Omar looks like he gained time.
It's just, yeah, the downforce on that Mercedes just isn't high enough to compete in the corners. And you know what, that McLaren, because of the higher downforce, when DRS is activated, he's just gaining more and more and more.
Absolutely. I mean, Jordan definitely has seemed like he has got a bit more of a straight line speed setup than Omar, because Omar is considerably a bit slower around the side. So you look on his telemetries are going, well, for you it's kilometers an hour, for me it's miles per hour. He was going about 193, which is not the quickest down that straight. As you know, you can do 210 or 205 about that.
Omar only doing around 305 compared to Jordan's around 315 kilometers. A bit of a translation in speed for you. But
yeah, so definitely a different set of speeds and setups, but I mean that downforce setup for Omar is vital for him at the moment, as it's helping him gain through that chicane, which is, you know, probably one of the most vital corners on this track, and it helps him around that the hairpin around turn 3. So again, very
honestly,
vital for
I'm
him.
just curious on what must be going through the Mercedes head with that setup, and that's Lewis retiring.
On the he's retired in the pit, so we want to see nothing coming out of that one. Omar closest has been on this straight to Jordan, so there's going to be 6 tenths, 5 tenths. Is he going to reach 4? Could Omar potentially get an overtake done? He's right behind.
Plus DRS.
Ooh,
just
right
won't be able to
behind.
make a move yet, but you know what? It's going to happen in the next lap or two. I absolutely predict it. McLaren just unfortunately retiring from the session. Omar, his teammate, on the other hand, potentially fighting for P1, nearly hitting the rear of the Mercedes.
Right behind there.
Nearly touching that gearbox. of the Mercedes. He's going to try and stick with the outside line, try and
JR.
almost gain more grip.
No, JR could be on for a potential podium, and he's catching up to his Haas counterpart of Shadow, so he could be potentially on for a podium here. He's made his way out from the bottom half of the grid after the start, and made his way up to P4. So definitely good to see.
Once again, getting DRS here, just gonna keep that gap nice and close. And you know what? Maybe Gunther Steiner will have to give in some team orders for Haas if that gap gets too close.
Absolutely. I mean, you see the difference between the lines Omar and Jordan take. It's very vital around these, as Omar is way much more closer to the curves than Jordan is, and Jordan's just trying to keep away from him a lot. As now Omar still having the ERS advantage a bit more. He's using them. He's learning to use them. Use it the time where he needs it. So 4
and it just seems, from what we're seeing, the higher downforce of Omar is going to benefit more when DRS is active because of the higher amount of aerodynamics being used by the McLaren.
Absolutely, but one thing is though for Omar, once he does get an overtake done, he's going to have to worry about that straight line speed on that straight, because definitely
Plus
with the DRS added, I mean, Jordan will get an extra 10 miles or 10 kilometers to you.
Maybe that was the strategy for the Mercedes all along. Maybe I get overtaken, but then
I become a rocket ship.
DRS power, yeah, exactly.
So again, could we see? Subbits going slow there around, thinking that is Windex spinning, as well as them two potentially could be the first cars being lapped here.
And Jenga Boy only 6/10 off Ozza Swazza here, so a potential P8 overtake in the next couple of corners, maybe. And maybe not in the next couple of corners, but definitely in the next lap.
Jordan really slow out of that chicane here.
It seems I've jinxed myself. It's definitely going to be in the next couple of corners. Around the outside, we'll go the Alfa Romeo.
Omar going to fight for the leads.
Oh,
He gets it done. Jordan looking for a switchback. Omar defends the inside line though, and he keeps the move.
And
he's into P1.
Jenga Boy.
That's Jenga Boy there.
Unfortunate, because as I was saying, that Jenga Boy was really starting to gain on the Aston Martin. He's had a spin.
That's unfortunate from him.
Omar, really respectful overtake there. Very clean, very decent.
We're going to come and see him box here, Josh. Now we're going to see what kind of pit stop will Josh be getting here as he slows down as he hits the 50 mark. And he'll be coming into the pits.
30 kilometers in a 60-kilometer range there, so really slowing down there.
So there we are. Here's the Alfa Romeo team boxing for a new front wing and a medium, so must have had a worse collision as before. Jordan, as I said, watch out for that straight line speed there, Omar, as they're going to head into that chicane now. Jordan 1/10 gap now as we are heading into the pit stop windows for these medium tyre runners, so we'll see them boxing at one point.
And Omar obviously potentially feeling that pressure, and yes, they both box.
Well, that is a great strategy plan there by Omar. Box when Jordan boxes, and he's boxed it when they're in the lead. JR is the only one who's not going to box, so he's now going to take the lead of the race out of the two. JR did overtake his teammate Shadow, I think, who would have been graciously letting him by, and everyone else is boxing. So we'll see a double stack here from the Alpine team, and they are incredibly close to each other to do one. So this is not going to go well from their team at all.
I'm just going to watch this, and no, it's not clean at all. Having
slow
to hold up
by Chimp. 2.4, I want to go around 2.4, 2.5 there for Howe. Wow, that was a very slow stop for the Alpine team. And John might be able to overtake.
Jordan, Shadow, Chimp, Howe, all those drivers who have now just freshly come into the pits for hard compounds, obviously all are planning to probably go onto these compounds till the end of the race.
Absolutely. Omar couldn't have planned that pit stop better more than he did. No, he's now getting a 1.4 gap to Jordan. He's now trying to fight for his first win. He got taken out in the sprint race. Now he's trying to get redemption on that and lead that race, as he is in provisional first place, as I gotta say, because JR has not boxed yet, so he will take it on a grid position. as he will box this lap. No, JR still refusing to box as we're heading to lap 16. He's got 3 laps in that window to box now.
I mean, the more he delays it, the more it's going to affect his tyres and his overall gap to Omar. If he boxed earlier, he could have had a potential P5 after boxing.
If he boxes now, he will look like to be P3, because if he boxes now, it'll be P4, because he'll be behind SLK, and he'll be ahead of his teammate just about. So he definitely needs to think about boxing sooner or later. Because you look at those hards, they are dead.
Yeah, the 15-lap old medium compounds, they are not supposed to be out for that long, and Omar probably seething at the teeth, just wanting to get closer to that Haas driver. But maybe he's not even worried about Haas. He knows that eventually he'll need to box and he'll take the lead of the race, because he knows that this strategy has worked to a perfection. And McLaren, I'm sure, are grinning. Zach Brown is probably grinning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mercedes obviously looking to potentially get past the McLaren. It's going to be very close.
Jordan, 17% TRS. Omar with 60. There's a massive significant there, but we're not to forget, as like I said beforehand, the straight line speed for Jordan is going to play a pivotal part for him. But that downforce is just going to help Omar round these corners, as Jordan, just can't stick well to him as well as Omar can't.
Omar will take the lead.
Let's see this pit stop from JR then, off the hard mediums onto the hards. Very decent pit stop as it comes out to P4, as I said. P4 he will be, near his teammates.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, his teammate gets close, but not close enough. Yellow flag sector 2, that's the AlphaTauri of Windex Bottle Cap having some type of spin. Will not be a safety car or VSC, not enough debris. But another yellow flag, that's the Haas of JR. JR's had a spin.
So that's a safety car. JR's left the session as well, so...
No, VSC.
Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute then if it's a VSC. Be back in 1 minute.
Yep, so JR's had a spin and has caused a VSC. He's also left the session. Really unfortunate from the Haas driver. Now you can see Omar up in front because of JR's pit stop. My apologies there. VSC obviously will slow down the pack and will close the gap to Jordan and Omar. Jordan trying to gain as much time as possible on that McLaren. At the same time, Omar is also trying to gain as much time. Also, Swazza with a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC conditions. So really unlucky for that driver there. Mercedes 1.4 seconds down on Omar, and that gap is only decreasing after the VSC has gone away. Omar might be feeling a bit more pressure, maybe not. That downforce also helping him through the last corner.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've just returned in a good time.
Yep.
JR couldn't have disconnected at a worse time there.
Yep, unfortunately JR just over-exaggerated on those cold tyres. Thought that, I can push straight away, and those just stone-cold tyres of the hard compounds just put him into a spin immediately. And a couple drivers coming into the pit lane. There's the Alpine of Howe and the Aston Martin of Ozaswaza just coming out of the pit lane now, undercut by Timu.
As Jordan is now getting closer to Omar as this race does go on. 1.1 seconds now with only a handful of laps remaining.
Yep. It's unfortunate for Shadow at the moment, who seemed to have a lot of pace in the beginning, but now has a 5-second penalty down the P4 and doesn't seem to be gaining the top drivers anymore. So it's unfortunately been quite an unfortunate race for the Haas driver. Yellow flag again, that's the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, that's him DNF, and then that's going to be a full course
that is a safety car.
Omar SLK has got a chance to get a free pit stop in then.
Yep, Windex Bottle Cap in the previous laps had a spin, but this time round it's a full-on crash.
Chimp is the Alpine to box. First pit stop of the safety car. He's going to go straight back onto those mediums for the next, 13 laps after this? About
Well, I
that.
mean, once it's 20, around that, yeah.
So Chimp has boxed. Then we'll see. Timu who doesn't opt to box. Jono boxes. Ozawa box. How refuses to box. Doesn't do the double step again.
Yep, so Chimp coming into the pit lane, Ozaswaza coming into the pit lane, How also coming into the pit lane. Thinking long term here, thinking about
Singapore
safety car
into
and
the pit lane.
yep, Alfa Romeo also to follow.
They'll be questioning who out the top two boxes for the new fresh pair of medium tyres. I reckon it could be seen as Omar and Jordan, who will be the first to play the card. It's gonna be a tough one to decide.
So obviously safety car. Oh, there's Jordan. He's pulled the trigger. He's coming into the pit lane.
Jordan boxes for mediums. He now
And
hopes
Omar
Shadow don't
might
box for
start
mediums.
to be regretting his decision. His biggest rival in this race comes into the pit lane for medium compounds.
Shadow also boxes for mediums, so that's the only time of protection gone. Unless Chimp can try and catch up in time, but I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So Jordan coming out P2 on a fresh pair of medium tyres.
And
He's
now
gonna.
the McLaren of Omar is not gonna be happy.
He's not. He hasn't played this absolutely right. I think he's through this race out of the window now since Jordan's now coming for a fresh pair of medium tyres. Got to say the mediums will die out quicker, but he'll have the speed advantage every day of the week now. The grip and everything.
Well, it went from a grinning McLaren to a grinning Toto Wolff and Mercedes. Because that has been a perfect strategy for Mercedes. It went from a perfect a perfect strategy from McLaren, and now it's a perfect strategy from Mercedes. English non-existent. So obviously all the cars starting to get up to each other again. Safety car period should last maybe another lap or two. Yep, and obviously, if I'm not wrong, it was, well, Lewis did have a penalty, obviously he retired, so that's why. Actually, no, yeah, also Shadow serving his 5-second penalty.
Yeah, so Timu up to P4. That's okay. 3 pit stop P3. Then Chimp is going to have to make his way past Timu and fight for that final podium position against SLK. So they've got jobs to do, some drivers here. Jobs to do.
Yeah. And all drivers starting to catch up to the rest of the pack who are behind safety car. But Mylander obviously in control of that safety car. Omar saying in my DMs, Hamilton versus Verstappen 2.0. He believes that there's still a fight on this hand. And potentially still a win. Because if you think about it, McLaren on those old hard compounds, but JJ or Lance are on those new medium compounds. Jordan, however you want to say it. Swerving left and right, trying to keep temperature in those tires. Tension is high. The strategy has been set. The mark has been put. Safety car is in this lap. A real
Safety
late
car.
call by the FIA and by race control.
Omar is not going to be happy with this. We've got
Oi,
12 laps
Jordan
left.
almost tapping the gearbox. Omar pulls
So
the
Omar
trigger,
pulls
and it's
away.
now gotta go to the timing line. It's green flag running here in Spain, and Jordan not even slightly affected by that getaway from the McLaren. And you know what? He's gaining 2/10 gap at the moment. Let's go to the midfield where we can see
Chimp around the outside. Oh, there's an incident with Chimp. Timo and Chimp hit each other, and there's Chimp falling down the order.
Unfortunate there for Chimp.
Now it relies on one Alpine to try and nick that P4. It's going to be relying on how. That's unless Shadow climbs his way up the table to try and nick it. Jordan still hasn't overtaken Omar yet with the set of mediums.
And really solid from Josh, already making up 3 positions up into P9.
Absolutely great start there by Josh. Albeit we've had one spin as well as. But Jordan still not able to get his way here. He has got the extra time.
Shadow's got a really good slipstream on Howe here. He's going to go down the inside. The Haas may be able to make it stick, nearly
having to
hitting
dodge it. But he's still got to go the long way round. And they're going to touch again and again. Oh, he saves it though. That's a very good save by Shadow.
Wow.
And he managed to hold on, but he doesn't keep the position. He goes to P6. How? A bit of a different strategy there toward, tactic towards Shadow, but you know,
how will he get away with that? Aha.
Yeah. Ha, another pun throw in there for you, ladies and gentlemen. We are cooking tonight. I tell you that with the jokes. Tune in. We're here for every Sunday evening for more jokes. You're welcome.
Yeah, we have fun here in the commentary box.
With 10 laps to go, Jordan still finds himself behind Omar.
Yep, but is Jordan just going to have that huge advantage on those medium compounds to get past the McLaren?
At the end of the day, he just has to wait for DRS to be wide open and
he also
blitz
needs
him.
to consider long term here, because those medium compounds are going to degrade much faster than the hard compounds. That's how he's had a spin. He's hit the wall.
How has spun and how has he done that and how has locked up?
3-second time penalty.
Well, here comes Jordan down the inside on Omar, but Omar says no, thank you. Oh, there's contact between the two. Jordan is not going to be happy with that. He's going to send that straight to the shoe as Omar, bit too hesitant on the switchback, hits the rear tyre. And the fact is he didn't stop at the one hit, he did it twice there.
That is incredible.
So Timu potentially could be on the first podium, but you know, he could find himself on the wrong end of a penalty here, as DRS is now open, as Jordan's going to have the pace.
Jordan can be. We all saw him after he lost a potential championship win in Bahrain, and can just become so frustrating. Was it me or Ozma just absolutely glitched there? Could have been some type of internet issue, maybe. Either way, he's gonna fight away with Jono through Ghost.
Timu defending Jordan like a champ, but Jordan has enough of it. He says, you know what, if everyone else is gonna get dirty, I'm gonna get dirty, and forces Timu to avoid the action and send it on him. But it's a very good and brave move from Jordan, and it's worked. And it's worked in his favour.
And Jordan's having none of it. He's becoming more aggressive, he's becoming more ruthless, he's caring more about his final place and more just wanting to catch back up to Omar.
Absolutely, but that's going to become more and more hard to do with those laps to come on, as you got about 7 laps to go. 7 laps? Yes, 7 laps. I can't do maths, this is why I failed it.
9 laps.
9 laps, exactly, this is why I failed maths, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Timu. He has got the DRS of Jordan just about, but here comes Shadow on the inside on Timu. Pace abusing this car
to
try and catch him for Jordan.
The inside. He's just taking the inside line. That's how fast the Haas has been. Now going into the first corner, and Shadow very clear past Timu.
Yeah, he's now having to go catch up to Jordan as he wants that podium position, and he wants to fight as well as he's not had the best of races here. Shadow has been slower than he normally not is, but he's trying to fight for it and he's trying to prove I'm not out of this just yet, and I don't think he is. Here comes Omar now, still P1, but I don't know what the stewards are going to have to say about that incident there, as Jordan will be absolutely fuming with that incident. You're a steward yourself, both of us here are stewards, so I don't know what we're going to say about these incidents. But what would your opinion would be here, Helix, after seeing that collision?
I mean, listen, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see a replay. But from what I saw, obviously spectating Jordan there, it'd probably be a 5-second 2 penalty points for Omar here. I mean, he just had better exit, hit the rear of the Mercedes, got past, caused Mercedes to fall down multiple positions, and Omar has not given back position at all, so...
Yeah, so he was too hesitant on that switch back to do anything.
Exactly.
Like, in fact, it was just the one hit. The one hit didn't do it. It was the second hit which did.
Yeah, it was the second, yeah. But you know what? Jordan has obviously gone fastest overall with a 120.3.
Yeah, but the ERS is running out. There, he needs to catch up to SLK. He needs to catch up to SLK quicker as possible, as he has it done, just to get into the DRS range and Omar and go back at him for a second time. Both of them low on ERS, so an even fight. And there's Jono.
That's a Mercedes, Jono. And the Haas of JR might be able to get back, but no, he's gone back to AI and then not anymore.
There's Chimp trying to catch up to Jingaboy to try and get that P6 here. Josh going a bit deep to Chimp, taking different lines there. As Chimp will gain a lot through that corner and that sector. Heading into the chicane now. As I said, this is a very close chicane, I do gotta say. Like, you look at the minimap, the chicane was pretty close. As that's Omar slowing down to get.
Wait, Omar
slows down.
He's
gonna give the position to Jordan. He's gonna throw away a potential win and a potential second place to give the position back to
driver reputation. And honestly, in some people's minds, it's craziness. But honestly, a round of applause for the overall just driver, I guess, etiquette from the McLaren.
Yeah, you know, he's trying to do the great thing, but he's on the slowest set of tyres here, Omar. Like,
exactly.
It's a good thing for you to do that, but you didn't have to do it. Like, you could have just tried and flown away, as you are on the slow set. You know, you're on a, compared to them, like, you're on a full lap different tyres as well as. It's not like it's a fresh tyre versus a fresh tyre.
I mean, yeah, it's an interesting thing to consider, because there's two ways to look at it. Obviously, the McLaren could have tried to pull away as much as possible, and any penalty he could have received, he could have tried and created a gap to stop him from falling down any positions. But at the same time, he could stop himself from getting investigated overall just by giving position back to Mercedes. But by doing that, he's fallen down 2 positions down to P3.
And could potentially lose the podium position as well as, because Shadow is not that far behind him as well as, and he doesn't have the pace what Jordan has or SLK, because Jordan definitely quickest. Omar has ERS and F1.
Yeah, I just saw that by Goya, so you have to consider that.
That is also true, but he has to get close to him, and the 6/10 gap is not close enough for it at the moment, the 5/10 gap, and with the DRS train as well as, Jordan will have to try and overtake with it. For Omar to try and avoid anything, I've got to say he has to hope for these two to collide with each other. I hope they don't, but he has to hope for them too.
Yeah, for McLaren's hopes, it has to happen.
Well, here comes Jordan anyway, back onto the racing line.
Yellow flag.
That's how.
Alpine.
Yeah, flag on
He's
how.
lost the front wing there and a bit of debris for sure. He's done it on the pit lane entry, which I guess is lucky for him. But...
Yeah, looking at me now, safety car here as we reach to the now final 5 laps in this race.
Yep. It's becoming a 5-lapper. All the drivers practicing it in the mornings for me and in the nights for them. Now coming down to the final 5 laps. Jordan will have DRS, Omar will have DRS. So a bit of a DRS train between the top 3 at the moment, with Shadow just not close enough.
I mean, I've got to say, SLK, he's got to say to Omar, thank you very much. I'll happily take that P1 and a potential win, unless
Yeah, well,
Jordan
you also
finds
have
a
to
lot of grip
consider
out of
that
these
even
corners.
if you still have to consider that even if F1 finished in P2, oh, that's Mercedes of John. No, wait, yes, is he okay? He's just had a spin, I think, potential damage, but back up to the front, as we were saying before, obviously F1 could have still won because Omar could have received a penalty,
See.
and that could have seen him pick up P1. You know what, Jordan's getting very close here,
Here
DRS and
comes
ERS,
Jordan.
and a potential move.
Yeah, these two very close, and he's going to stick it on the inside of
No, he's gonna
SLK.
have to
No, he
back out
doesn't.
of it.
It does back out. Well, this does allow. This now
Omar
bringing
winning
Omar into it.
seconds. Yep.
Heading into that chicane. Jordan opts to do the smart thing. He does not try and overtake in the chicane as we head on to lap 30 out of 33. Now heading around that final corner into lap 30. 3 laps remaining.
Oh, Aston Martin.
Who's going to come out
That's
on top?
Swazza.
That's Ozak going around, around. And there's Omar falling behind again. The pace advantage is different. Here comes Jordan on the inside now.
Outside.
Switch
Goes
back.
F1 to stay ahead.
But F1 defends well. Jordan, as I said, is going to be wanted to be a bit more aggressive. Could he see him with a bit of a dive bomb here to force SLK wide? No. But he does get a great grip around his corner. Does he think about stick down the inside again? No. Hesitates not to overtake.
He's thinking potentially DRS zones maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, both not got ERS, so it'll be it'll just be a drag race really.
I mean, you can't count out Omar though. He's only 4/10 off Jordan.
Yeah, you can't count out. But again, the tyre advantage is definitely different, and that is how.
No, not Chimp. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, that's how. And again, I've got a question: how has he done that? We'll find out sooner or later.
We need to put him.
Omar watching behind these two racers here, as I just got an invite to something.
Daniel Ricciardo at 2021 Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Just watching the race unfold.
DRS on by Jordan. He does have the straight line speed on SLK, but he's too far behind.
Like, Jordan must be thinking with that aggression in his eyes that, like, if he wants to win this, he has to get past. And at some point, he's gonna have to flick that switch and stop being as clean and just send it down the inside if he wants to win.
Yeah, because Omar is now, he's eyeing up, he could eye up for a potential move. So like I said, those hards they can go long, but those mediums are going to die out as quickly. We know how long they can go for, and they're going to go. They're going to go to the end of this race, and this could go to Omar's favour a bit more. But here comes Jordan again, trying to go on SLK. Doesn't try anything again.
Getting close to the gearbox.
Just trying to stay close and hoping to get him on that straight.
Jono 119.7. Wow, what a lap from Jono. Probably those new soft compounds definitely helping him out.
Absolutely. Both taking a bit more curb than they were.
Just so close, but look how close Jordan is, almost just touching the gearbox of the AlphaTauri.
Could see a Jordan overtake maybe.
Both drivers though.
Like I said, it's a drag race. It's between whoever's got the better straight line speed car. As Jordan could figure out a move down the inside. No, again, hesitates. Doesn't try anything.
Yep, so the penultimate lap, obviously beginning 32 of 33.
Lap 32, we've got one more lap to go until the end of this race. Could potentially a three-way battle for
Look how close Omar is now! Oh, this is actually spicing up at the very end.
It is. Omar trying to think of a move.
The grass there.
Yeah, Jordan defending whilst attacking as well. Slowing down Omar the way he goes. Needs to get a great exit around these chicane, which he does well. Flat around, lifts off, then goes flat. Then DRS enabled.
Oh, this is going to get close. This is definitely going to come down to the last lap, but it's looking good for F1 at the moment. Omar just keeps gaining and losing time. Yellow flag, sector 2. I think that's the Alpine of Howe again.
What a shame. from how that is his race done.
It's just not been a
And here
great
comes
race.
Jordan. Closest he's been so far.
Oh wow!
1/10.
Oh wow! Here we go.
On the last lap, can we see a last lap overtake by
Slipstream,
Jordan? I think this is what he's been waiting.
Wheel to wheel, inside line.
He's
Gonna
gonna
go
be
into the
inside.
braking zone, around the outside.
Side.
There's F1.
Contact is made, as I said, and Omar has
lead.
picked it up. As I said, Omar would need to pray for an incident like that, and it's exactly happened.
Yep. It's
Jordan
exactly
and
happened.
SLK coming together. That penalty Omar potentially maybe or maybe not get could be potentially pivotal now for Jordan, as he could potentially receive the penalty. And or SLK, but that's SLK's race done, and I could see Shadow into a podium position.
Wow. You know what? I just want to talk about the McLaren for a second. He has done exceptionally well. Even if you count him out, even if he lost those positions, it was a great strategy. He started really well. He's done really well on the tyres, even if they're 18 laps old. He's coming around some of the
Final
corners
couple of corners now. He's only got 4 corners now, or 5 corners remaining as he heads
and
through
the
that
Mercedes just
chicane.
won't be close enough.
He would need to do a
All Omar has
ludicrous
to do is
dive,
keep it clean.
which he does as he comes round the final corner. We've got a new winner in
Omar's
HOR,
gonna win.
and it's Omar.
Yes, he
It's
does
Omar's
it.
day. McLaren celebrate on the pit wall lane. Jordan will neck up P2, Shadow P3.
McLaren.
Jordan will now have to wait for yet another race to get a potential first win of the season.
The F1 champion
From the champ.
is at a huge disadvantage at the moment.
And I've got to say,
To
Josh,
be champion, you have to win.
I've got to say, for Josh, he has gone a mega stint to come from last place to P6.
exactly.
I've got to put my
Really
hat off to that guy. SLK drops down to P7 after a disappointment there, from battling for his first win to a P7 finish. Ozza P8, Subbits P9, JR P10, Jono P11, and fastest lap will go to him, as well as and how to P12. And I think him and Thingy are the only cars to be lapped.
Honestly,
Fantastic.
the real question is, how do you finish in P12?
Haha.
Once again, the pun being used, but wow, what a race from Omar. Obviously, Chaos finishing on the final lap, just how House of Racing loves to be. And absolutely deserved. Incredible. So Jordan, yeah, once again, Jordan will just have to wait once again another race for a potential win. And honestly, it might be a really good idea from Omar here by giving back that position to the Mercedes. Does that stop a potential ticket for the McLaren?
Well, I don't know, but we'll see. There's Omar celebrating his first win, and a well-deserved win, to be fair. He was absolutely quick.
Yeah.
He's been excellent since lap 1.
Absolutely deserved it.
Throwing that Spanish trophy around, celebrating with his team McLaren. Absolutely ecstatic.
Lift the trophy.
There we go. Podium celebrations around. Champagne being sprayed.
Yep.
But we'd like to
Spraying
congratulate
bubbly.
Omar.
All over the fans, all over the rest of the drivers who are standing on that podium. It's another race that needs to be waiting for the Mercedes to win.
To get that first race win of the season, the champ needs to do a champ defence now, heading into the latter stages, as in the next race week will be held at, we'll be going to many places, Silverstone, as we return to Great Britain.
Silverstone, wow.
Yeah, home to many, and home to racing as well as. So Britain will be the next race of the season. We'll be very looking forward to that. If we can have a very good race like we did today, we've had a three-way battle for the lead. I'm hoping it's the same there. Then we'll head into Spa, Hungary, then Italy, which will be the second sprint race of the season. And then after that, we'll be heading into an interesting race in Monaco, which I'll be looking forward to commentate myself, with Kota as round 9, Singapore 10, 11 will be Japan, 12 Saudi, 13 Bahrain, and then end off Brazil. But a very good race for Omar. He was an absolute superb racer today. It's all about him, and I'd like to congratulate him with as well as. So well done to him.
Yeah. Well, to the Twitch chat, you can catch me every week at Formula 2. I'm your main commentator for that. Next race is Imola. I don't know if that's a sprint or not, but it's going to be interesting. If it is, I might also be here next week for F1. I'm not sure. That will always depend on TJ and that. So Either way,
Yeah,
it's been fun.
it's been fun. And guys, like I said, if you like today's commentating race, tune in, subscribe to the Twitch, and we'll catch you on the flip side in next week.
Yep,
How do I say
adios.
in Spain? Adios, amigos.